Hello students, in the previous class we have discussed about the sexual reproduction in flowering plants. So today let us recall the things which we have already studied and then we will continue to the next topic. Okay, so let us try to recall so that you can understand in a better way. So what is sexual reproduction or how does sexual reproduction takes place in flowering plants? Now I am not going to go in very detail but I am going to tell you the things which we have already learned in a recap form. So, sexual reproduction in flowering plants, or they are also called as angiosperms. So, let us try to understand in a better way. So, the basically three processes are taking place in the sexual reproduction of the flowering plants. Okay, so what are the things taking place before fertilization? So, we can call this as pre fertilization events. Okay, so the things which are taking place before fertilization, and then fertilization takes place. Fertilization means fusion of male and female gametes. Okay, so fertilization, the second step is fertilization, and the third is after fertilization what happens. So post fertilization. So pre fertilization. Now what happens in pre fertilization? Production of gametes. So gametes are produced in the male reproductive part. Male gamete is produced. In the female reproductive part, female gamete is produced. And then after that, gamete transfer is there. The male gamete is transferred in the form of pollen grains from anther to the stigma. We call this process as pollination. Okay, and after the pollination, the male gamete reaches the stigma where it germinates, and after the germination pollen tube is formed, and that pollen tube grows towards the ovary through the style and reaches the ovary, enters the ovule, and then enters into the ovule. After entering into the ovule, it releases the male gamete. The male gamete, one of the male gamete fuses with the female gamete, and that process is called as fertilization. Okay, and then other male gamete fuses with the polar nuclei, and that is called as triple fusion. Okay, so that is fertilization. After the fertilization what happens? Zygote is formed. Okay, so fertilization is fusion of male and female gametes. So after the post fertilization zygote is formed. So zygote is formed after that, and then zygote develops into embryo, and then ovary changes into fruit, and the ovule which is present inside the ovary changes into seed. Okay, so these are the changes taking place after the fertilization. And then we have also seen that the other parts of the flower are sepal, petal, stamen, okay, style, stigma. They fall, they dry and then fall off. Okay, because there is no need. But in some plant they may remain along with the fruit, but in most of the plant they fall because that is of no use now. Okay, so these are the things which are taking place. And then seed contains, the fruit contains seed, and seed contains embryo. Okay, so what are the different parts of the embryo? Okay, so embryo has got two parts. Okay, basically plumule and radicle. Okay, so plumule is the part which forms shoot or stem. It forms shoot or stem after germination, and radicle forms root after the germination. So when we put the seed in the soil, it changes into seedling. That is called as, this process called as germination. So when we sow the seed in the soil, seedling is produced after certain time, and that process is called as seed germination. Okay. So what is present in the embryo? Embryo contains plumule and radicle. Now what is, if you ask me a question, what is present in the seed? The seed contains embryo plus cotyledon. Okay, so these are present inside the seed, embryo plus cotyledon, and seed is covered by a coat, strong hard seed covering is there, and that is called as seed coat. Okay, so seed is covered by hard covering, and that is called as seed coat. Now seed coat also has got two parts. If you see a groundnut, have you seen groundnut? I suppose everybody has seen groundnut, or it is also called as peanut. So it has got a outer stuck hard covering is there, and inside that seeds are there. Okay, so this is the outer part is there, which is very hard, and that is called as testa. We call it as testa. The outer hard covering is there, testa, and then the seeds are covered by red or pink color covering is there. Okay, paper like thin red paper like covering is there. Okay, paper like covering is there, paper like thin covering is there, and that is called as tegmen. Okay, tegmen, tegmen. Okay, so testa is there and tegmen is there. So the seed contains the seed coat, and if we break the seed coat, inside that what is present? Embryo, and embryo plus cotyledon. Embryo is having two parts, plumule and radicle. Plumule is having or forming the shoot, and radicle form the root after the germination. And what does the cotyledon has? Cotyledon has got endosperm. So cotyledon stores the reserve food material for the development of the embryo. I already told you what is endosperm and how it is produced. Endosperm is produced after the fusion of male gamete with the polar nuclei. That forms the endosperm. This endosperm provides nutrition to the developing embryo. So it is present in the cotyledon. So cotyledon contain the reserve food material. So that is given in your NCERT. Let us see what is given here. So you can see cotyledons stores food. Okay. So cotyledon store food in the form of endosperm. Okay. Now let us move to the next topic, that is what is reproduction in human beings. Okay. So let us talk about how does first we are going to study the introduction part, and then we will going to study about the male and female reproductive systems in the future classes. Okay, in the later classes. So now reproduction in human beings. So now let us talk about the different steps in the life of human beings, or uh, phases in the life of human beings. What are the different phases which are present in the life of human beings? Let us try to understand them one by one. Okay, so reproduction in human beings. So we'll start with the phases in the life of human beings. So what are the different phases in the life of human beings? So if we study about the different phases, the first phase is birth. Okay, so we are born, and then after getting born we develop. As soon as we are born, we are developing, we started developing. So development starts. Okay, so we enter another phase of life that we call it as infant. Those who are there up to 4 or 5 years or 6 years of age are called as infants. Then we enter another stage of life that we call as childhood. Okay, smaller children are there which did not undergo puberty, and they are not infants also, they are in the next stage of their life called as childhood. And then after the childhood, the students or the human beings enter another phase of their life that is called as adolescence. Okay, so adolescence is another phase of their life, and then they enter another phase of their life called as, after the adolescence they enter adulthood, they are called as adults. And then we have the last phase of our life, or we, as we become adult, we become old. Okay, and that is the phase of life that we call as aging, or we call as senescence. So we can simply write here aging or senescence phase of the life. And the last is we die, and then that is called as death. Okay, so these are the different phases of the life. So we are born, and then we enter another phase of life after we are born, that is called as infancy or infanthood, or we are called as infants. And then after the infanthood, the human being or the baby enters another phase of the life called as childhood, and the person then enters another phase of their life after the childhood called as adolescence, and then enters adulthood, and then it grows old. Aging means it grows old, and then ultimately it dies, and then the life is over. So these are the different phases of the life. Now we are going to focus on this phase of the life, adolescence, because maximum changes takes place in this phase of life. Now in the initial phases, what is happening just after the birth, the child is growing and become larger in size. So in this is the growth phase. This all can be start called as growth phase of their life. So they grow during these phases. After the birth, they enter into infanthood, and then they enter into childhood. They are growing, their body is growing and growing. Their body is still growing in adolescence, but that growing in another sense. Okay, so they grow, they become bigger in size, they become taller and wider also. So that is a growth phase. Okay, but as soon as they reach adolescence, they leave childhood and they reach adolescence, certain new changes appear to take place in their bodies. Okay, and that we call as secondary sexual characteristics. Okay, so new changes takes place in the body of both boys and girls, in both males and females. Those changes are not included in growth phase. They are called as secondary sexual characteristics, because after the changes are over, they can be recognized. The boys can be recognized as boys, and the girls can be recognized as girls. If you see a 5-year-old kid, okay, so 5-year old kid cannot be called as a boy or girl. Means it is a boy. It can be a boy or a girl, but they look similar. Boys and girls look similar. If they wear same type of clothes, suppose if you have 5 boys and 5 girls, and if you give them all of them, if you give same clothes, they look similar. Okay, if they have same haircut and everything is same, they look similar. Means you cannot differentiate easily between a boy and a girl. Even their voice is not different. Boys and girls have the same type of voice. So the boys and girls are not different from each other when they are when they are children, when they are small in size. But when they enter the adolescent stage, they develop new characteristics, and then they can be recognized easily as boys and girls, whether they wear same clothes or they wear different clothes. Okay, so those are called as secondary sexual characteristics. Let us focus on those characteristics given in your NCERT textbook, and you will write them as your notes. Okay, so we were talking about after the birth, we were talking about what? we were talking about infanthood, we are talking about childhood. So all of these are changes that can be grouped under the general process of growth. Okay, so all these changes are called as growth, in which the body becomes larger. So in the initial three phases of the life, okay, birth and then infanthood and childhood, the growth is taking place. Okay, the body becomes larger in size, but in early teenage years the whole new set of changes occurs. So these changes are called as secondary sexual changes or secondary sexual characteristics that cannot be explained simply as body enlargement. Instead, the appearance of body changes. Okay, so appearance of the body changes. Okay, proportions of the body change, new features appear, and so do the new sensations. So new things are happening. So we cannot call these things as simply growth. These are not growth. This is something else is happening. So our body is becoming sexually mature. Okay, means the bodies of adolescents or the teenagers is capable of doing sexual reproduction. So let us talk about the secondary sexual characteristics in boys, and then we will study about in girls, and then we will study common, what is common between both boys and girls. So first let us talk about the boys. So we begin to notice, so some of these changes are common to both boys and girls. Okay, so what are the changes which are common to boys and girls? So number one is, you write number one and write the heading sexual secondary sexual characteristics in common in both boys and girls. Okay, so thick hair growing in the new parts of the body such as armpits and genital area, that is between the thighs, which can become darker in color. So this is the first changes which is taking place. So the growing of the hairs under the armpits and in the genital area. Okay, so this is a common characteristic taking place in boys as well as in girls. Number two, what is number two? Thinner hair can also appear on legs and arms as well as on the face. So the appearance of thinner hairs. So thick hairs grows on underarms or armpits and in the genital areas, and the thinner hair grows on legs and arms as well as on the face. Okay, number 3, number 3 is the skin frequently becomes oily and we might develop to have pimples. Okay, so skin becomes oily and then we might begin to develop pimples. You might have seen ads of the face wash in which all they show teenagers means those who are growing up, because in their body changes are taking place and their skin becomes oily and they need to wash their face. So my advice is there, you just wash your face with the plain water, don't use any chemical on your face. Okay, then number 4, the change will be there, we begin to be conscious. So we become conscious of all these changes and we become aware of our bodies and others in new ways. So we have new sensations. Okay, and that is also taking place in both boys and girls. So four changes are common in boys and girls. So number one is hair growing in the armpit, thicker hairs. Number two is thinner hairs on the face and legs and arms. And number three is pimples are there on the skin and the skin becomes oily. And number four is we have new sensations. Okay, so we become conscious of our bodies and the bodies of others in new ways. Now, let us talk about the next paragraph, and it is telling us about secondary sexual characteristics in boys and girls separately. So, first you are going to write secondary sexual characteristics in girls as the heading and write points number 1, 2, 3, and then in boys we are going to study in the next in the same paragraph. So what is happening in the girls? In girls, number 1, breast size begins to increase. Okay, so the size of the breast begins to increase, so that girls can be recognized as girls and boys can be recognized as boys, because boys do not have breast but the girls have got the breast, and the breast size begins to increase. Number 1, with darkening of the skin of the nipples at the tip of the breast. So this is a complete point. So breast size begins to increase, and number 2, if you want, you can write at that the darkening of the skin around the nipples at the tip of the breast. Okay, so that skin is called as areola. So the skin around the nipples is called as areola and it becomes darker in color. Okay, number 3, girls begins to menstruate at the time of puberty. So menstruation starts at this time period. So these are the secondary sexual characteristics in girls. So 3 are given in girls. Let us talk about secondary sexual characteristics in boys. Okay, so number 1, boys have a new hair, thick hair growth on the face. So this is number 1, new thick hair growth on the face. Number 2, their voices begins to crack. Okay, so this is number 2, the voices begins to crack. And number 3 is the penis occasionally becomes erect and large and erect. Okay, so the erection of penis also starts at this stage. So penis becomes enlarged, means bigger in size, and it also becomes erect either in daydreams or at night. So these are the secondary sexual characteristics or the changes taking place in the boys. Okay, now let us talk about that why these changes are important and why these changes are taking place at this time period only. Okay, so all of these changes take place slowly over a period of months and years. They do not happen all at the same time in one person, nor do they happen at an exact stage. So in different students, in different children, it takes place in different time period, and in some it takes place earlier, in some it takes place in the later stages. So no need to worry about this, that if you are not having these changes it means there is some problem. There is no problem in your body, you all are absolutely normal. So in some it takes place earlier, in some it takes place little less or after a little some more time. And the time period during which they take is varies from individual to individual. So in some people they happen early and quickly, while in others they happen slowly. So that is very normal. Also, each change does not become completed quickly either. So it takes a lot of time. Okay, it takes about 6-7 years. It starts in around 11 years in girls and 12 or 13 years in boys. Okay, 11 or 12 years in girls and 12 and 13 years in boys, and it goes up to say about 17 or 18. Here also in boys it takes a place 18 to 19. Okay, so during these years from 13 years to 19 years, how many, say 6 or 7 years are there. So during these 6 or 7 years these changes are taking place and they are your body is becoming mature. So it is not completing overnight, it takes a lot of time. So for example, thick hair growth on face in boys appears as few scattered hairs first, and slowly does the hair growth begins to become uniform. So once you have scattered hair, some hairs are growing in your chin or cheek or any other part of your face, and then the growth becomes uniform. You don't have hairs everywhere on your face. So slowly and gradually the hairs come on. So even so, all these changes show differences between people. Just we have differently shaped noses or fingers, we also have different patterns of hair growth. So no need to worry about it. Or size and shape of the breast or penis. So all these changes, what they tell us about? They are the aspects of sexual maturation of the body. So all these changes are telling us about sexual maturation of the body. So we'll continue this topic in the next class. Thank you, students.